Dallas Cowboys beat the Giants in the ugliest win I've ever watched. But Cowboys Nation, let's talk about it. So, after the Philly game, I had some high hopes for the defense. The DNs couldn't contain Hurts for the most part, but corners were playing outstanding, and the run defense was much improved. Offense came out swinging, but crucial drops led to us losing the game versus Philly. Coming into New York, I'm thinking the Cowboys should get the dub easily based on what I saw versus Philly. And boy, was I wrong. We let a washed up Russell Wilson light up our defense all game. And if not for Dak, Pickens, CeeDee, Javonte Williams, and the most importantly, the best kicker in the league, Brandon Aubrey, the Cowboys would have been annihilated in that game. The Cowboys defense gave up 450 yards and 3 touchdowns from an average Russell Wilson. Yes, we got a late interception by Donovan Wilson in overtime, but he was a huge reason why Russ had our defense looking super sorry. I've been saying since day one, the Cowboys need to do something about Donovan Wilson, as in get him off this team because he's too much of a liability. You can't have a safety that can't do basic stuff like cover over the top. The safety is the last line of defense, and you can't even do that well. But for some reason, he keeps getting put on the field, and teams know he's an easy target. Micah Parsons was able to help mask those problems. But when we played teams like Green Bay, the 49ers, Lions, and basically whoever is a decent OC, they knew who to pick on, who to go after. And up to this point, for the Cowboys, it's basically malpractice what they're doing. And it's not surprising because the Cowboys don't value the safety position. They did the same thing with defensive tackle. We'll just throw bodies, we'll just keep guys there, and our pass rush will take care of everything until teams get smart and see your team and say, oh, I can just pick on him all game. You're not going to take him out? Okay, I'm going to go after him. I'm going to go after him. And the thing I don't like about the Cowboys is and even a lot of the um, content creators, it's like we're making excuses. Oh, well, it's more on Matt Eberflus, this and that. This has been a problem for the Cowboys for too long for you now to go and say it's Matt Eberflus. I'm pretty sure Matt Eberflus knows that he's not good. But again, for some reason, the Cowboys, we leave these particular positions untouched and only address them when it's hurting our team. Wilson was playing this bad last year. He wasn't all of a sudden going to play good this year. But again, that's just what the Cowboys do. We have two weak links starting at safety, and Wilson is just the worst one out there. He just can't really do his job. Basic safety stuffs, basic safety stuff. And I don't care that he's a poor man's blitzing linebacker. I don't care if he's more of a run defender. I've seen way too many missed tackles, and when he's had clean shots at the quarterback, he's missed. I've seen him in the run game take very, very poor angles. And it's just the tape isn't good. And you could say whatever you want about him. I think the worst part is Cowboys made him a captain. A captain has to lead by example and he has to also be one of your better players, which Wilson is neither. And that's why our secondary keeps getting toast. Even if you think Russell Wilson is average, he which I do. I'm not saying that I think he's good by any means. I think he's average. But even for an average quarterback like Russell Wilson, he's good enough to pick apart basic looks. That's all we've been showing. We're just dropping back in zone, hoping the pass rush get there. But guess what? You have issues over the top because you have safeties that can't cover deep, especially Wilson. And it's just sickening to see the Cowboys purposely holding themselves back to the point that it's just really hurting your team. And this has been a problem for years now. We saw this with Dan Quinn. We saw this with Zimmer. We've seen too many defensive coordinators come in for me to believe that these coaches are dumb and they don't see him as a problem. I personally believe that the Eberflus is being told to put him out there because no coach in their right mind thinks he's good. I'm sorry, what he brings to the table doesn't outweigh what he can't do. I just don't know how else to explain it. You'd have to be lying to yourself if you're looking at him as a safety and the Cowboys are like, man, that's the guy I want. If that's the case, it's going to be a long season and teams are just going to air you out. And I would complain more about the play calling and obviously the too much zone. But unfortunately, trading Micah and not okay, let me put it this way. We built this team based on pass rush. And then because we got destroyed in the run game so much, we aggressively swapped over to stopping the run. But now your team is a liability in pass coverage. Unless a DN steps up, Cowboys are going to have issues. The main reason so far is Fowler and Sam Williams at this moment aren't panning out. I see people wanting to blame Donovan Ezraku as well, but expecting a rookie to flash and replace Micah Parsons, a top three, if not the top edge rusher in the NFL, is stupid. That's just a stupid thing to expect. It takes time for rookies to develop. And that big void that Micah left will should not be on Donovan to be the guy to show up. That's why they went and got Fowler. That's why they went and got Houston. That's why they went and got Clowney. Because it's stupid to rely on a rookie. But in a draft and develop team like the Cowboys, this is what we do. The Cowboys bet on their deep edge room to fill the void for Micah Parsons. But we're finding out real quick that your guys aren't consistent, which is the worst thing for this defense based on how they built it and based on how your DC, that his philosophy. And this is the annoying part of the Cowboys that nobody talks about. They don't have structure in how they're building teams and wait for certain issues to become problems and then think one draft will save them. But if it doesn't, that means you're in a bigger hole. Because now teams know what your issue is and you didn't address it. So you're basically cooked food. But the Cowboys keep doing this to themselves over and over and over again. So that's enough of the negative. I can't help it. I go into spiels about that because that's just Cowboys do a lot of stupid stuff that comes back to bite them, and people are like, "Oh, why is this happening? Oh, I could have told you last year that this issue would still be the same issue of this year, but whatever." Let's talk about some of the good part about the Giants game. One of the bright sides, and I keep trying to tell people over and over again, Dak is that dude. And he keeps showing people over and over why he is a top quarterback in the NFL. He balled out this game. He has crazy confidence in his ability, which bites him at times, where that's why they had that one interception to CD, but now with actual weapons and a way better play caller in Shoddy, I'm just very pleased to see how this offense looks. Another Javonte Williams. He isn't someone to play with. He has more pop than I expected, and the new running scheme from Clayton Adams is definitely showing in the run success that we're seeing early on, especially to put up 97 yards and a touchdown on that Giants front. That's really, really good. The only concern with the offense, again, and they were the concern beforehand, is the tackles. Guyton will have his struggles, but at this point, I'm done with Terrence Steele. In a crucial moment, Steele let some no-name D linemen walk him back into Dak's lap for a sack. I don't care who you are. You cannot let that happen in that moment. And just his shaky performance in general, 2 games in a row, it's going to get Dak hurt. If you have to pull the trigger on Nate Thomas as right tackle or slide Guyton to right and Nate to left at whatever point, I don't care. Because just seeing Steele continue to get reps is an indicator for me that this is going to be a long season. We get his deficiencies, but we need to do something to replace these guys because it's holding the team back. I don't want to see Dak running for his life because your tackles don't hold up. And yes, you can negate that to an extent with the run game, but it doesn't mean you don't do your due diligence and fix the problem. Masking the problem works for a couple games, but when you need those guys, teams are too smart to know what you're doing. They're going to load up the front, put you in a position where you have to pass. And guess what's going to happen? Your tackles are going to be compromised. So there's not much they can really do this year, but that's the thing that makes me angry about the Cowboys. It's like when you see a problem, fix the problem. Don't wait, and hope a guy gets better because in the NFL, realistically, guys are not going to get better. If you don't show, even if you flash for a year, realistically, that's who you are at that point. But it is what it is. But I need to give a huge shout out to Brandon Aubrey, our savior for that game. Man, he kicked a 64-yard field goal to get us into overtime and the game-winning field goal to end the game. All I can say is, Jerry, pay that man and get it over with. He's the one consistent person outside Dak, CD, and Smith. So make sure he gets the money he deserves. Lock him up for the future. Get it over with. So Cowboys Nation, this game shouldn't have been this close, but I will take the win. The Cowboys have a lot to clean up on defense, and Matt Eberflus has some tough decisions that he has to make. We now have Jadeveon Clowney, so hopefully he helps us even more. But Eberflus is going to have to adjust the scheme based on the guys that he has. Because if he doesn't, then it's basically Dak or bust, which isn't new, but goes back to the Cowboys doing the same stupid stuff and hoping for success. It's not easy being a Cowboys fan, but it's DC for life, and now on to Chicago. I'm your boy Mecca Mike. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. For all the socials, as MICCAME. I can't even spell my own name. MECCHA Mike. And I'm out.